And now we see Paul enter this round chamber. The walls are covered in the same strange black material as the rest of this place, and glowing in the chiseled out cracks that make up the symbols seen all over the obelisks and devices that he's already seen, he sees the strange glowing fungus that he saw before. But arranged along the walls are screens. They don't look like any screen he's ever seen before. Of course, this is before the age of television, so these just look like strange mirrors to him. But in each of these weird mirrors, he sees people moving. And it takes him a while to work out what it is he's seeing, and he realizes he's looking out through the eyes of other people. Countless other people. There must be dozens, perhaps hundreds of these little portholes looking out through the eyes of another person and seeing whatever they're doing, probably right now. In the middle of the room, there is a chair, and one of those strange geodesic black devices sits in front of it. He hears the echo of voices down the corridor. Coming for him, probably. And woodenly, robotically, he walks across the chair and sits down, places his hands on the device. It's the only thing he can think to do now, is to hope that somehow by activating this device he can do something to slow their progress. And it hums and glows in response to him touching. And the cobweb of glowing stuff on his back reacts to, it pulses with light, although he can't see this. It finally extends its tendrils over and into his head. And we see his eyes glow with that same colour. And as his eyes start to glow, he spots amongst the many mirrors on the wall, he spots a perspective that he recognises. He sees the face of his friend, Wiggy. He's laughing and joking with somebody, and they clink their glasses together. And as the person whose perspective he's seeing, as he sees their arm reach out to clink their glass, he recognises the skinny hand of his friend, Mary. And he knows that whatever has happened to these people, it's happened to her too. He casts his mind back to when she touched the device in the building site, and he thinks that was when they got her, and now they've got him too. Except he's not been got the way that they have. The glowing stuff, even now working its way through his neural pathways, is doing something very different to him. And soon he will join with Ethel and her friends. And as the voices come down the corridor, he turns to face them and smiles and says, "So you found me?" And they smile back and they say, "You're one of us now." That is the end of the final horror. But as always with Lovecraftesque, there is an epilogue. In the epilogue, we need to find out what happens to the horror in the future, but also what happens to our main character in the future. And both have survived. So I will wind time forward. I think we see newspaper headlines from Sheffield newspapers showing and written by Paul Blomfield, showing the successes of the Steeple Empire as it grows and becomes stronger, and its expanding workforce is mentioned. 1,000 people, and there's a picture of these blank, glassy-eyed row upon row of workers in some giant factory, some new giant factory somewhere in Sheffield. I think the headline reads 1,000 workers employed at new Skyring steel factory. But then time flickers forward and we see now its headlines in the Times as the Steeple Steel Empire extends its fingers across the nation. And again, it's Paul Blomfield is writing it now. He's working for the Times. He's moved down to London, and we can see he's reporting on the spread of that empire. And I think I'll just wind time a little bit further forward to the launch of the new Steeplegate web app, where you can buy anything that you need. And a headline reporting Amazon has been defeated by Steeplegate, and a picture of a child with a Christmas tree in the background opening its Christmas present, and the child has opened a small black box, and the child's face is lit up with delight, but behind them we see the faces of their parents, glassy-eyed and robotic. That's the end of my Lovecraftesque story. I hope you enjoyed watching it. The solo play mode is just one way to play Lovecraftesque. The game comes with hundreds of creative prompts which will allow you to tell just loads of different stories using this engine, including lots of scenarios that you can play so that you get lots of different types of story. We've got horror in Roman times, we've got horror in space, we've got horror on whaling ships or in colonial India. There's so much to explore. It's really exciting, and of course the game is also playable with a group. You can play it with 2 players or up to 5, and you'll get an exciting horror tale every time.